Alright, it is time to finally showcase the final line on the MBTA project I'm working on in Minecraft here. Eventually I will do the South Coast Rail too once it's complete. They say by the end of this year, but I highly doubt it. So we'll just wait, and once that's out and all the lines are completed and I know how the stations look and what I should do, I will go ahead and do that. But for now, today we are going to now look at the Newburyport Rockport line. So, starting at North Station here, coming on out. One thing I will note, I have made changes to all the stations by putting in regular tracks at the platforms themselves, but keeping the powered rail elsewhere. This way, if there are any attempts to stop at the station, it will be easier, and the powered rail will not take your minecart and just shoot it out. That way, if you just place one down and kick it by accident, it's not going to run away from you. You'll still be able to have it. But if you are out on the main track, it'll just keep you going. So I am working on trying to get this world put onto the marketplace so people can buy and play in it, but I'm not sure how to go ahead and do that. It looks like they require some kind of business in order to do this, and I'm not a business, obviously, but if anyone has any information regarding that that can help me to get this onto the marketplace, I would be greatly appreciated. But on to the show. So first up here is Chelsea. Again, like I said, I replaced the rails with the regular rails here in the middle. So we have our entrance on the sides coming up on the platform. And if you've been there, you probably recognize the new station that they've built. Have the concrete shelters with the bench areas. And other than that, there's really not much more to it. Very simple, very basic looking station. And let me change it tonight, actually. I like to do that usually. This way people can see how it looks lit up. So yeah, that's Chelsea, very basic. Another entrance on this side as well. Not too much to it. Also made this little box that I saw there from Google Images and memory, so not sure what it exactly is. It might be for the signals or some kind of other electrical components, but other than that, though, that's pretty much it for Chelsea. Up next over here is Riverworks. This is for General Electric employees only, flag stop. So the way I did this, I wasn't going to make an entire power plant, just to showcase this small station. So the only entrance is right here. It's an iron door. You can't open it on your own. You'll need a button, and you guys can provide your own buttons. So you cross the tracks right here to get to the platform. Very small little area, waiting area. Here is what would be the little security checkpoint. Again, iron doors to get in. You need a button to get in. But I don't know if anyone's ever been here themselves, but very, very little in terms of pictures due to the private property nature of it. It's one of the only stations on the MBTA line, if not the only station, that you cannot actually go to. But in the back here, I just made a little small area, put an enchantment table, a chest with some things in it, an ender chest. So that's stuff for people to explore and, find and discover on their own. And then this was just, a way to give it a little bit of that look that I saw in the pictures, although not very detailed. So that's Riverworks. Up next here is Lynn Central Square. Now they are renovating this station as I speak and make this video, so I don't know if it's still going to look like this in the future, but I do not plan on changing it due to the amount of work that I put into making this, unless it's just small changes for the platform. But if anyone's ever been here, you should at least recognize it when you're up on top. So I have the entrances here. In reality, you do go upstairs to reach the platform. It is elevated. And you have this one shelter area down here. This is to mimic the elevators. And then there's a whole section of platform that's pretty empty. And then you come over here to the other shelter. And this is the main waiting area most people stand at with the benches and everything. And then, of course, down here on the other end of the platform, you have the elevators. And just some either storage boxes or signal equipment. But the station does have a unique look to it, where it does begin only halfway on this side, and then it fills in as you get to this area where the elevators are. And of course the massive parking garage, which quite frankly took me a long time to recreate. I had to go back and forth between Google Maps to make sure I got the look of it correctly. Of course, the coloring may not be exact, and I did the stained glass here to try and match what I saw. But you can come down here and you might be able to recognize it from this perspective, especially if you ever walked through it. They do have a little complex staircase here that brings you to each level of the parking garage. Parking garages themselves are empty because, of course, there's nothing in it but parking spaces and cars, and I can't do ramps to actually bring it to each level without it looking dumb. So I just kept it like this, as per usual, with the parking garages. So each level you can come up to on the staircase, and eventually you can figure out the little system I have made here, where you can go to each level and eventually reach the top. So it's not the most organized staircase, but I do feel it captures what the look is when you are inside. I'll give it a little view from the other side as well. And another entrance region over here. Again with the stained glass and curved or concave down ceiling here. So this is Lynn Central Square. Next here we're coming up on Swampscott. So pretty simple overall. The Newburyport Rockport line typically has these high-level platforms at the end without any shelter on them. So I mimicked those best I could. And Swampscott does have a station building, but it's not actually for the station. I should say it's just a building. There is a low-level waiting area underneath the shelter here, and of course I tried my best to recreate the look of the building with a combination of either brown or dark red and that white. So I used cherry fence because those are new. But the way to enter the station is you have this area right over here you can walk onto, come up on the station building itself. For the interior, I just left it as a basic waiting area. I do not know what is actually in this building. There were no pictures. There's no information on any business owning this from what I could find. But you do come up on the side staircase here, and you have a bunch of empty platform on that side. But then down over here, of course, like I said, you have your high-level waiting area, or boarding area, I should say. So very simple. And of course, you can also get on this side at ground level over here. In reality, you can't do that until you're, I think, somewhere over here, if I remember correctly. This part is fenced off with the parking lot. But overall, yeah, pretty simple station. Not too much to show. Up next, another fairly big one. This is Salem. Now, this one was a little complicated to make due to its curved platform out from the parking garage, but I did my best just with a little bit of a step there. So down here you have two sheltered areas to wait underneath. It's in a total high-level platform. Now I did want to complete the look of the station by including this little walkway and I guess mini grass area, so I made it pretty with some flowers and grass and the path that kind of matches what you see from an aerial view, and a couple of trees. And then the parking garage itself, kind of ugly with the materials I had to work with in Minecraft itself, but I did my best, as per usual, just to copy the general layout of it. And you have your staircase and elevator system right here. No elevators in Minecraft, but I just made the staircase. And inside right here will be your waiting area. That's outside of the elements. And I put a couple of vending machines and ticket kiosks, quote-unquote, here using the beacons. So we have our signs here labeling where you can go in the parking garage to the upper levels, looking out overhead. Goes all the way up to a third floor here. And this is the little walkway that would lead up to the road that would have been here in reality. So just to mimic that, I had the stairs go up with that kind of down and up style shelter that's over the walkway there, and of course this little piece right there that leads into the waiting area. The one thing that I wasn't able to figure out how to fit without looking out of place was a little brick, I believe, signal tower that's next to the walkway underneath or near the bridge / tunnel that is on this end of the platform. There was just no way to really fit it next to the way I designed the rest of it. I did build this part first, so I wasn't going to dismantle everything I worked hard on just to put that in there. And the main showcase for this anyway is just the station platform and the way it looks. So that was good enough for me, and I left it as is. So that is Salem. Up next here we have Beverly Depot. This one was fun to make overall. Still two tracks, so we haven't split yet. But we have the Beverly Depot restaurant that's here. So you can go in there and explore that a little bit. But overall, just one side has a shelter. Both sides do have a high-level boarding area on the end. Building is made mostly of brick from what I could tell. And on the inside, I used a combination of pictures that I saw online to try and mimic the interior to the best of my ability. Wasn't the greatest outcome, and I was limited on space the way I do this. But I put a bunch of chairs and tables inside, a fireplace on the end for ambiance and aesthetic. And then over here in the corner is the buffet. Doors to exit, kitchen in here, very low ceiling unfortunately, but there's a bunch of furnaces and cookers and a chest of food for if you're traveling, you can get something to eat. Alright, so to fix the outbound side of the platform that I apparently neglected while creating the inbound side here, I got distracted with this building. I will now continue this portion of Beverly Depot, so just to quickly go over the entrances, we have one over here on this island, on this one, all to connect it for a more convenient entrance to not have to worry about crossing the river, and of course over here. So in reality, there is a walkway over to a parking garage. So just to mimic the end of that, I put in this little design here. I'm not making a parking garage; it's not necessary for the view of this station. Also put in this little box here. I believe this is either mechanical or storage, and the shelter down here on the end that I also neglected with the droopy back and more elevated front. So that completes Beverly Depot. Can't believe I forgot to make that entire side. Usually I don't. But anyway, moving on to the next. Okay, and now we're coming up on our split here. This is where we go out on the Newburyport line. We will get to the Rockport line after we explore the Newburyport line. First up here is North Beverly. Very easy station. Just this one little low-level waiting area on the inbound side, and another one, kind of a mini bus shelter, train shelter you can call it. And then of course the two high-level boarding areas on the end. There's only one way to get onto this platform, and it's on this mini hill here out of the snow. So if you want to cross the tracks, very easy, right in the middle. And there is a... actually not sure what this is exactly, but we have a woodland winter village nearby. So I tried to put the stations near the villages if I can. And I'm sorry, I don't know all the terminology. I mostly have been creative here, not keeping up with the terms in Minecraft all that much, but this is the station, North Beverly. Very simple. Coming up next here, we have Hamilton Wenham, another very basic station. Only one platform on the right side of the track going outbound. We have this extended shelter area, all low level, and then over here we have your high level boarding platform, also sheltered, and a walkway on the side so that you can get over here to this other winter village that is actually abandoned. And to avoid destroying anything that the game was putting out in terms of structure, I went and curved the track around it through the center. And since the station would not have fit between those buildings, I decided to build it down here and just have the walkway go to it. Up next here we have Ipswich, or Ipswich. I'm not sure if it's pronounced either way. But yep, this is the station. Again, very simple, all low level until you get to the high level boarding area, sheltered. Different coloration on the low level area for the shelter, so I used cherry wood. But not much to really talk about for this one. The only way to get on the station is over here, where the concrete meets the ground, and then you can just go from there. Then, after a very long trek over the ocean, we come up on our next station here. This is Rowley, another pretty basic station overall. A little newer looking, so I went with the smooth stone for the shelter. So you have that one shelter, it's all high level platform, some seating, and then this little box here, I believe it's a storage shed, maybe it could be the electrical equipment. But since we were so far over the ocean and I didn't have a lot of land to work with yet, I wanted to still put a station relatively close and not have to wait till we saw land again. So Rowley connects to this little tropical island in the middle of that ocean, so it can be a nice little access to this spot here. Just a walkway, meets up with the station. Nothing too special. And finally, we come up on the end of the line. Again, over the ocean, so connected up with an island here, Newburyport. Pretty basic station. There are two tracks here, one on either side. It's a middle platform, so I did keep the overall look with two yellow lines on both sides, even though I don't have two tracks. Just this track on this side. So, one waiting area there, another one over here, all high level. Staircase on this side of the island to get up to the track on the Boston facing side, and then at the terminus side another one that leads down to this sandstone that you can walk to get to the opposite end of the island more conveniently. That way you don't have to walk all the way across the island to get up to the platform if you don't want to. So that completes the Newburyport branch, and now we will move on to the Rockport branch. Okay, so back at the split here, now we are going to continue straight onto the Rockport line. First stop is Montserrat, if that's how you say it. Again, I'm not sure how to say all these, no one ever tells me. But, very simple station, pretty much all low level until the high level boarding areas on the end. One little shelter towards the front with a weird design of a lower section on the front and higher on the back. Tried my best to recreate what that looks like. But yeah, very simple, very easily accessible station, built onto the ground pretty well. Coming up next here is Pride's Crossing, a fairly small station overall, but the building adds some weight to it. So I decided to build it out of the dark oak. This is the Pride Crossing's confections. It's possible this might have looked better as mangrove, but I just put mangrove as the roof. Put some flowers out front because this is essentially a flower shop. Also a candy store. They have the sweets, caramel, fudge, and turtles based on the pictures that I saw on Street View. So you can come inside, take a look at the artwork on the wall. Nice little aesthetic with some flowers that they sell in here. Just put a variety of what could fit in flower pots there. Over here, there's a little bit of a shed. On the inside, I put a chest with some tools. And the station itself is pretty basic. Outside of that, it's just a low-level platform all the way across. Got a bench, a little bit of shrubbery there. The building does get pretty close to the tracks, so if you've ever been here, this should be at least somewhat familiar. But yeah, Pride's Crossing. More complicated on the outside than it is on the inside. It's possible there's more to it that I'm not aware of. Very limited information. All I really could get for the interior shots was this little area right here where they sell the flowers and have a checkout counter. Alright, up next here is Beverly Farms, squeezed between two mountain ranges, close to a winter village. Probably should be calling them tundra villages because it's could be winter or summer, who knows, it's in the snow. But anyway, we got our little outdoor area here with seating for people to hang out. This is the bagel shop building right here. So you can come in on side, sit down at these tables, little fireplace for aesthetic. In the back got a chest of food, some furnaces there for cooking. Over here, I wasn't sure what this is. I just had to go with what I saw from the outside. Just realized I forgot to light up the interior, so I will do that at the update to make sure I have that all taken care of. But anyway, this is the Townsend Oil Company from what I saw online. I just put a little office with filing cabinets, that's the smooth stone, and a desk in the back. Station itself, mostly low-level platform at the end, high-level boarding area, unsheltered. But along the inbound side, you have the overhead shelter that connects to the building, along with some outdoor seating. So right here, you also have an entrance into a cave if you wish to explore that, and another one up here that goes towards the upper part of the cave. And of course, over here. So a lot of easily accessible options, and from the snow, you can just take the staircase right here. Alright, next up here is Manchester by the Sea. Now, this was one of the bigger ones. It took a while because there's a lot of buildings that are along the station. The only way to give the station its proper look is to make those buildings very similar to Wakefield. So, for starters, on the outbound side, we have this low-level platform with an elongated shelter. Across from that is this building right here. Inbound side, another shelter for standing under in harsh weather. A bank right here, community center, a kind of combination, I guess, house and business, I'm not sure. And of course, an abandoned brick building with a power plant next to it. So, to make the power plant, I just put a bunch of fencing down in random order and lit it up with a variety of torches and lamps and lights. So, that just to give it that kind of look of a power plant. I don't know. It's nonsensical. It doesn't have any order to it or reason. It's just there to make the look. So for each of the buildings here, I'll start with the community center. There's an outdoor deck to get up to it in various spots. There were some images on the inside that I was able to help me recreate it, at least knowing the floor and the color of the wall in some parts, but it's very complicated in there, so I had to keep it simple. So right here is a little conference or presentation area where I saw seats and a podium. Right here is a little table where they serve food and snacks and a bunch of open flooring for activities. And then in the back here, I just put a conference room. Come on. Start with the brick building over here that's abandoned. I didn't light it up because it's abandoned. But on the inside, you'll find a few things. A chest, an enchantment table, another chest there, and a cauldron. Kind of tried to give it a little bit of a creepy vibe. Maybe kind of hint that there's something going on in here that shouldn't be going on just because it's abandoned. But other than that, just the power plant and the front door and back door. So this house here is Northeast Cleaners, at least from when I'm making this. So here's the front view of it. Has a couple of floors. Now I was not able to see anything on the inside of this, so I just got creative. Have a waiting area with a desk for business. Staircase that goes to the second floor. Kind of made it out to be like one of those beach houses. So open floor plan, bed and kitchen. Goes out onto the outdoor deck. And you can just kind of look outside. Another set of stairs here go up to the upper floor. Didn't look like this connected to the top floor at all in any way, so I just left it kind of open as like a way to let in natural light. And this is kind of just a way to look out over the tracks if you want to. And the staircase does come down to the side of the house as well. So, not my best effort on making it as real as possible, but I worked with what I have. And I also put in the grass and some trees on the side because there were a few of those patches along the way. This is the People's United Bank. So the way I designed this was I have the little drive-through window right here. This is a dispenser, so if anyone's behind the counter, they can take money out of this chest, put it in the dispenser, and then the customer can take it out of the dispenser. Here's the entrance to the bank. Right here is the ATM made out of the beacons. This is the secure customer service desk with, of course, the iron door. You need a button to get in. And this is the bank vault that has an iron door with a bunch of gold in it. And this also is a back door that needs a button. Only way into the bank without a button or without destruction is to use this door. And lastly, this building right here has a few businesses in it. Very limited info on what I could see on the inside, so again, I got creative. So on this side we have Bay State, just put in a carpet with a desk for people to sit and have meetings, do business, whatever. Ladder goes into the attic here, just some shulker boxes to give it that feel that they're storing stuff in here. If I can try to get out. There we go. Next over here is a saloon. So I just put in a counter and a chest that has a bunch of drinks, potions in it. Madame Hadem Boutique. This store is a little bigger, so I kind of just put in some armor holders and armor on it to make it look like mannequins. Cash register, countertop. And again, an attic that has extra storage of mannequins and armor. So you can come in here and grab some armor if you're on the way. And lastly, we have Christina Creston Design. Again, no idea what's in here. It's just what was on there. So I just put some pottery there. A little brewing stand. Counter with a cash register. You know, quote-unquote cash register. Just what looks like it. So that's this building. And that pretty much completes the tour for Manchester by the Sea. A lot going on, but I'm proud of what I was able to accomplish here. Up next here is West Gloucester, much easier to make than the last one. Had to kind of extend the platform out here to give it that actual look. So the outbound platform is much longer than the inbound platform. The inbound platform has shelter. The outbound does not. High-level platform for boarding on this end and another one in the middle. Again, much shorter, has a wall on the back side of it. The only way onto the platform is therefore on the outbound side, just like in real life. You can board wherever the tracks, or the concrete rather, meets with the land. Otherwise, it's fenced off. And if you want to get from either side, you can either go around the back here, or you can sneak your way underneath the tracks here, and there's just enough space for you to get through. Once again, to avoid this village and destroying any property, I decided to curve the track around it so that I could put Gloucester in here. Very basic station though, low level until the boarding area on the end here. Both sides are sheltered. A more elongated shelter down the tracks over here. Only way to board the side is over here, so that you can go on this little path and just hop up on the concrete. And the village is abandoned too, as you can see. Oh, forgot I did this as well. There is another way to get on from right here, and that was due to the other side of the tracks in real life, also being able to come on from the road and a bus station waiting area. And finally, we come up on our last stop, which is Rockport. Built it down onto the island because this is a bit of an open area. Figured it was easier just to have it down on the ground. So I do, for once, bring the tracks on a slope into the station. Station platform itself was simple to make. You have your high-level wooden shelter area for boarding. Another little extended shelter right here. There are 2 tracks, so to mimic that, I have a little piece of coarse dirt to separate the line that would be there, as well as whatever the heck these are. I don't know. I just saw them at the station. There is a Dunkin' Donuts on that side, but I didn't want to destroy the views of the open ocean, so I just put in a fence. And these buildings over here were kind of difficult to make, so I had to squeeze about only half of it in here for the sake of space. So I only go about halfway down the actual length of this building, but I do include the dairy train restaurant with its little outdoor sheltered seating area. You can come inside. Behind the counter is ice cream related stuff like milk, water, snow, honey bottle just for sugar. just kind of like a little sweet treats collection there. For the rest of this stuff, it was very difficult to figure out what each of these buildings were. So I just made some guesses and was creative. So this is Prudential. I just made it into a kind of a mini little office. Over here we have Beaubien's. No idea what's in here. Just figured it may have been a store, so I put in some, some shelves, an armor stand with some clothing on it, and then a cash register counter. Next, Pink Armor Custom Sewing and Alteration. So that's pretty easy to assume what's in here. So just to make it look like a sewing company, I put a brewing stand and a tripwire hook, the closest thing I can get. Cartography table, mapping table, crafting table, and then in here a bunch of stuff that, is close enough to, what would be for sewing and everything. So we have like dyes, redstone, I don't know, I just put a random echo shard in there, string, feathers, chains, and a bunch of other stuff. So resources in general that you can pick up. And lastly, Carrie's Barbershop on the end. So just some mirrors with lights and seating tables, or chairs, I should say. So yeah, that completes the Newburyport Rockport line extension of the Minecraft world I am building. This is going to be the last one for a while, probably. I do plan on extending the Downeaster and eventually going from Wickford Junction out to New Haven, and then up the New Haven line to Springfield, and then I'll connect Worcester to Springfield at that point. So I have lots planned. I'll eventually get to it, but it's probably going to be a while. I'll see how I feel about doing it. And once again, I am trying to get this world up on the marketplace so that I can, have people play around on it and explore it and play their own games, whatever. So if anyone has any information on how to make that happen for me, aside from being a business and an application, please let me know in the comments, of course. So, till next time, I will see you guys later.